Hello and welcome back, everyone. I'd like to introduce SSP board member Lena Stevens. Her session, Connecting Creativity to the Spirit World, will begin now. Welcome, Lena.
Thank you, Lally. Thank you. And welcome everybody, anybody who's on live, and of course, those of you who are going to be listening to this later. So my name is Lena Stevens, and I am a board member of SSP, but I also am the a shamanic practitioner with the Power Path School of Shamanism. So the title that I came up with was Connecting Creativity to the Spirit World. So that's a huge, huge, huge topic. And I thought, you know what? How am I going to bring this into something very practical for all of you? So first of all, I thought it would be good to define both creativity and the spirit world. So people always say, oh, it's the spirit world. Let's connect to the spirit world, or trust the spirit world, or let's journey into the spirit world. But what does that actually mean? Well, the spirit world is the unseen behind what we can see. It's the spirit, the soul of whether it's a tree or whether it's your table or whether it's your vehicle or whether it's the sky or the sun or animals. And in shamanism, we work very much with not just the physical world, but with what's behind it, with the energy that's behind it, because the energy that's behind it is actually the creativity that manifests it. Okay. So, what I like to always consider when I talk about the spirit world is let's not have the spirit world be something separate, something other, something where, you go about your daily routine, you make your breakfast, take the kids to school, whatever. And then, okay, now I'm going to connect with the spirit world. And what I have been attempting really and practicing in my life is to just simply be one foot in the spirit world at all times. And of course, that is the goal of a shamanic path, is to have a foot in both worlds. So that when you are out in nature, or you are taking the kids to school, or you're grinding your coffee in the morning, that somehow you have a sense that it's bigger than just the coffee bean, or it's bigger than just the water coming out of your faucet, that you are actually having a relationship and a communion with the spirit behind it, or what has manifested it, the spirit behind the water, the spirit of water, or the spirit of coffee. Those are just, simple things. So defining creativity then, is to, and by the way, I decided to put this cloth behind me. So, I pretty much almost blend into the cloth, because I thought, okay, this is really about creativity. So let's really show creativity. So this is a cloth that has been made by the Shipibo down in Peru. And we're going to talk a little bit about that culture, because they are all about connecting to the spirit world through creativity. As you can see, I'm going to move a little aside so you can see there's all sorts of figures in here. There's pumas, and there's snakes, and there's floral, and there's plants, and there's butterflies, and what have you. Okay. Um, and then, of course, I wanted to put some roses, because the roses are something that really connects with the spirit world and the astral plane. They're a good connection. And then this creature here, I'm not even sure what it is, but I found it at a garage sale, and it's just, to me, it's like quirky and creative and fun, and it's supposed to be fun. Creativity is supposed to be fun. So we're going to have some fun today. So back to defining what creativity is. Creativity is really the source. It's the source of energy of anything that you actually end up manifesting, or anything that becomes manifest. Okay, so what you see in nature is you see trees, and you see flowers, and you see plants, and you see rocks, and you see the sky and the earth. But where did that come from? Okay, so we always think, oh, nature's so creative. And yes, it creates. It creates blooms and it grows and it creates seeds and it creates weather. And it's this creative energy that is constantly flowing. But it came from someplace, okay? It came from the spirit world. It came from the void where it's everything and nothing existing at the same time. So the point here about creativity that I want to make, and some of you have heard this before, is that you can't have creativity without destruction. So creativity and destruction are two sides of the same coin. And as a Western culture, and as a global culture, really, we are mostly focused, most of us anyway, on the creative part. Like, oh, let's be creative. I want to create this, or I want to paint that picture, or, I need to be more creative. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, it means that you actually have to embrace this energy of destruction before you can move into creativity. Because if you consider that before you create something, you have to destroy what has come before. Okay, so destruction comes first. And if you consider, the Big Bang Theory or, the volcanic eruptions that created change, that created new landmass or whatever, that was a very destructive aspect of what then emerged out of it, which was a lot of creativity of new life and new species and things like that. So destruction comes first. And the way I like to kind of refocus the energy on that is to consider, the next time you make a sandwich, the next time you're cutting up a tomato, or the next time you're baking a loaf of bread or whatever it is, you are destroying an original form to create something new. So you are destroying the original form of the tomato as you cut it, because you're creating a sandwich. All right. So, a good exercise, really, for everyone is to start to think in those terms, because you can't create something new without acknowledging the destruction that has to come before. Now, destruction is like a word that has a lot of negativity attached to it. So we don't necessarily want to focus on like the destruction of, like as a negative action. Okay. But more maybe the transformation or the release or the completion of an old form. Okay. So it is being destroyed. I mean, it is an appropriate term, actually, but you have to get past the negative connotations of it. So you destroy an old form before you can create something new. So as a culture, we're incredibly attached to our past. And in shamanism, if you really study a lot of the shamanic cultures, they are so in present time that they don't even have language to address the past or the future. Everything is present. So they are in tune with the cycle of allowing things to go into that destructive and then creative cycle, destructive and creative cycle. And they just, they are in tune and they are aligned with it. So I wanted to mention that about creativity, because when we're working with creativity in the spirit world, we need to be aligned in that way, so that we acknowledge and we don't hold on to things. We don't want the blooms to just continue on and on and on. The nature inherently knows the cycles and knows how to release old forms and destroy the old forms to get ready for something new to grow, for something new to come in. So my focus, or my shamanic tool, which everyone has, okay, so there are a lot of shamanic tools, and I know that in this conference you've probably witnessed and been part of some very amazing processes with drums and, chanting and rattles perhaps, and maybe some other shamanic tools. So the one we're going to focus on today is the voice, the human voice. Okay. Everyone has that as a shamanic tool. As you're in your toolkit, you have your voice. You always have your voice. Nobody can take that away from you. Okay. So the human voice then is a channel for creativity, and it's a channel for creative communication with the spirit world. So I'm going to talk a little bit, and this is a little bit of an aside, okay? So you have your human voice, and I thought, let's have a focus for the session today. Let's have something that we're actually going to, if we're going to work with our human voices, let's have a focus for it, a creative focus. So I thought, okay, let's focus on prosperity, because who doesn't want a little bit more prosperity in their lives? Whether it's a relationship or improved health, or money in the bank, more money in the bank, or maybe it's that you want the prosperity in terms of more time or more support or more wisdom, more understanding, more clarity. All of that falls under the category of prosperity. Prosperity, abundance. Prosperity is a little bit different than abundance, but let's focus on prosperity. Like, what would make you feel more prosperous right now, today? And so we're going to do some work using the voice in connecting with the asking, the connecting creatively with the intention. Okay. So, we all have gone through lots of different ways of setting intention. You can write them, you can pray, you can visualize, and we've all done all of those things. We can do a drum journey, to get an ally to help us with something. We can ask for help. Now, if you notice that when you actually verbalize an intention with your voice, like you actually ask with your voice someone uh, for help or support, or that you ask for something, that it tends to manifest a little bit faster than just dreaming about it. Okay. So pay attention, because there's something to that. There's something about vocalizing your ask, your wish. And that is a creative process where what you're doing is you are creatively, if you're going to use your voice, you are creatively asking the spirit world for what you want. Because the way it works is that the spirit world, it's just like the primordial ooze, it's just pure energy. It's just pure energy. Like, you see things manifest from the spirit world all around you. Everything that you see has actually manifested itself from the spirit world, because it was someone's idea, it was someone's wish, it was someone's intention. Okay. And maybe it was a collective wish or a collective intention. And I'm not sure if I want to go there, but we could talk about like the negative intentions that collectively people have through their worries and through their fear, because you can manifest that way too. But I'm going to keep this on the positive end. So everything that you see has manifested from the spirit world through creativity of some kind. And it's instructed the energy field of the spirit world to begin to create itself into manifestation. Okay. So I'm going to throw another little piece in here, which is working with earth energy and with the sky realm. So all of you know probably about, the three areas of the three realms of shamanism, the map, which is, the upper world, which we consider kind of the angelic realm, which lives everywhere, but somehow we kind of connected with the sky and the sun and the star realm and angelic forces, etc. And then we have Pachamama, we have the earth, and that is considered the feminine. Okay, so the sky realm or the upper world of shamanism is like where lots of light and clarity, and it's considered more masculine. And the earth is considered, of course, feminine, and it has like the underworld, it has the underground, it has things that aren't really formed yet, kind of the primordial energies, okay, very powerful allies, the reptilian world and the insect world, and all that four-legged, they all come from the feminine, from Pachamama. So you have to work with both of those energies, both of them together, to actually get something manifested. Okay, you've got to have the masculine and the feminine working together. Nothing would grow on this earth if it weren't for the sun. Okay, that's just a given. But then again, if the sun is overpowering and doesn't have anything, there's no balance with what Pachamama provides, like water and soil and all the nutrients there, nothing would grow, right? So you do have to have both of those energies, and we have those within ourselves. We have our solar plexus, that third chakra, which is related to the sky realm or the upper world of shamanism, the masculine, it's how you show up in the world. Then you have your second chakra, which is the, seat of your creativity. This is where the feminine lives. So creativity and that other side of the coin, which is destruction, okay, has to work both with the masculine and the feminine, and also has to have a connection to the spirit world where it's clear that the destructive process comes first, okay? That you are acknowledging that something has to be dissolved, something has to be destroyed, something has to be changed before something new can be manifest. All right. So as we focus on this idea of let's manifest some more prosperity for ourselves, okay, think about something that would, just so that when we do go through these exercises, you have like a focus. So think about something in your life that you could use a little bit more prosperity around. That it's maybe it's health, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's money, whatever it is, just have that kind of in the back of your mind, okay? And we're going to now do a little bit of a process where you can connect in with your voice, all right? Now, before we do that, here's where I want to talk about some of the indigenous people that I have worked with and that I have studied with. All right, so I'm going to start with the Shipibo, or actually, let me start with the Wisharika, which you might know as the Huichols. Okay, so the Wisharika, they understand that the creativity, they have to always be focused in some way with creativity because that is their connection to the spirit world. So they adorn themselves. Okay, so and yes, they do have chants and they do have, they use their voice, but in this case, what I'm going to talk about is how they picture themselves as connections between Pachamama and the Father Sky as flowers. Okay, they see themselves as like flowers, okay, similar to flowers. So they adorn themselves. Their clothing is very colorful and it's all embroidered with symbolism, whatever's important to them, whether it's the deer or, different animals, insects, flowers, different things that they actually embroider their clothing. And then they wear these hats, okay, that have these little hanging things on them so that when they move their heads, it's kind of like rain And so they're always acknowledging the creativity of nature, and they're always acknowledging themselves as creative beings that are always connected to spirit, always connected to spirit. So they always want to be connected to the sun, and they have all kinds of rituals for, water blessings and making sure that the body is being taken care of as if you are a plant, as if you are a really important flower that is going to bloom. So you want to be nurtured. So they have a lot of ceremonies and rituals about that. So the other tribe that we have studied extensively with are the Shipibo from the jungle of Peru. And this is the textile that I'm sitting in front of, one of the colorful ones. And these are visions that they get when they are connected with the spirit world through their songs. Okay, so they are masters of using their voice to connect with the spirit world. And how they do that is they have a principle, which is that there's no difference between hearing something and seeing it. Okay, so they see the song, they hear the song, they sing the song. They say the plants sing us, the sun sings us, the river sings us, and we sing back to the river. And we hear that and we see it. We see it in these beautiful designs. So they really get into that communication with the spirit world. So in a minute, I'm going to have Lally put a little video on that I recorded recently down in the jungle. And this first video is features Magdalena, and she is the daughter of Erlinda, who was really a maestra. She was, the she was the cat's meow of singing. Everybody knew, her talent in that, in her Icaros, in her songs. Okay, their songs are called Icaros. So Magda has Erlinda passed many years ago. So Magda, as the oldest daughter, she basically stepped into that heritage of the songs, but also of the plants, of the keeper of the knowledge of the medicinal plants. And so much of their communication with the spirit world and much of how they use it in their daily lives in service to their community and in service to others is by communicating with the plants and communicating with the creatures of the jungle and their allies, okay, like the anaconda. And they also use teacher plants like ayahuasca and some tobacco and some of the other ones in ceremony. They communicate with that and they use it for healing. Okay, so Magda is actually, quite a figure in the population there of her village. And she holds a good position with the women, and the women are the ones who are really working with the healing and the plants, and they have all kinds of methods and ways of working with people. So what I want you to pay attention to when you're listening to this video is how quickly, as Magda is singing, because first of all, they're very wordy. So first of all, you're going to hear a lot of, thank yous, and this is my position here, and my mother, and this is what I'm here to do, and those are the words that she's going to be speaking. And then I'm going to ask her to actually sing an Icaro of one of the textiles, because they have a different method of painting textiles where they see the visions. And the very ancient way is that they take a very colored clay and they will paint a textile. So the very colorful embroidery came much later, but she is holding a textile that is more traditional. So when I ask her to sing that textile, I want you to pay attention to how she moves, and it's very obvious how she goes into that, I would call maybe a trance state, like having a foot in that spirit world. She's still standing there in all her regalia in the jungle, and she's holding this textile, but there you can tell that she immediately it gets connected to the spirit world, and she hears that song and she sings it back to whatever's in that textile. It's probably like the song of the anaconda. So Lally, if you could put that video on now, that would be great. So I'm here with Magda, who is a Shipibo, shamanic person, a healer, and she's going to be explaining a little bit about the tradition of Ikaros songs, their creativity, where it comes from, and the role of women, especially shamanic women, in their culture.
Gracias a mamá Lena, gracias todo el ambiente acá, toda la naturaleza, que yo estoy también en mira de medicinas y estamos aquí con todas las medicinas para ayudar a las personas enfermas. Y también nosotros seguimos adelante, que nosotros también estamos caminando para los amigos que están para ayudar, ¿no? Acá nosotros diseño antiguo tenemos, esto es el antiguo diseño es esto, de la anaconda, de nuestra naturaleza, de la medicina, también de ayahuasca, salimos, miramos las visiones y de ahí hacemos nuestro diseño. Por medio de ayahuasca también curamos a las personas que están necesitados para ayuda para ellos, y por eso yo estoy en camino de ellos. Gracias mi mamá maestra Erlinda, que me dejó toda esa energía, y tengo que ayudar a muchas personas, igual que mi mamá Erlinda Agustín Fernández. Ahora soy su hija mayor, Magdalena Flores Agustín, y Niaca, acá estoy para ayudar, para servir a las personas que están. Acá estamos, mano abierta, para que ustedes vengan a llegar aquí para ayudar. Gracias por todo. Irak.
Y Magda, ¿tú puedes cantar
Sí.
un cántico de anaconda? Sí.
Ya están son hija. ¿Cómo podemos hacer?
¿Cómo así?
Ya, así. Nescaray, nato ora mato asubano, nato yamukiri uta shamanaitia, era mato buwa asunay, nescatera buwa nato Ícaro, mato asubano. Runi ayo shamage, nora runi ayonay, nora runi ayonay. Samanata biojo, samanata biojo, neskagin kanoi, kano shamankin. Samanata kanoi, hanata paumai, pau yontana, neska shamankin. Nora is on boy, Nora is on boy. Ramagaya shinawa, Ramagaya unawa, Neska kishamangi, no shinamurangi, Nora asroyunai, Ronin kana kingi. Irak, gracias.
Gracias, Magda. right, so that was Magda, and next we're going to have a shorter little video clip of her oldest daughter, Edith. And Edith has been studying with the Shipibo down there. She's sort of stepping into the legacy of being a shamanic practitioner, being a ceremonialist. And so she's going to also sing. And she is one of the students that we are supporting through our nonprofit, CSCE, the Center for Shamanic Education and Exchange, so that that culture can be preserved and some of the young people can step into that legacy instead of going and trying to find work in the cities. So this is Edith. Lala, you can put that video on. Thanks. And here I am with Edith, who is the daughter of Magda, and she's also a student at the Kuninetsa School of Shamanism, which is taught by her grandfather, Enrique. And she's going to also, she's on the same path, advancing on the same path, and she's going to explain a little bit about the song tradition and where her songs come from.
Hakun Barriapa, Nukunhaner que Edith, Suibuka. Soy una de las alumnas de Escuela Kurimutsa que pertenece del grupo de todo de las medicinas. Estamos aprendiendo del maestro Enrique, del sabio Erlinda, maestra. En esta mañana estoy muy contenta por pertenecer al grupo de chamanismo, una alumna más, y estoy avanzando con la escuela, conocer, encontrarnos con el grupo de las plantas, conectarnos con todas las plantas curativas.
Entonces, Edith, tú puedes cantar un cántico de las plantas, de la selva.
Ya, nato yamakirira, mato isunei, nato nontita shuko, sobre ayahuasquita, en la TV medicina, voy a cantar de todas las plantas medicinales, nato yamakirira. Shinamane yontana, Shinamane yontana, Samata boca ya biribi, Ashoyo baribano, Mato huiti suai, Suai rabawai, no como tabawaka, Suai rabawai, medicina bonibu, Iraku, 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 Iraku. Iraku, gracias.
Gracias, Edith. All right, it's hard for me not to go into a trance when I hear those Icaros also. Okay, so let's do some singing. I thought what I would do is I would start with singing a couple of Icaros that are very specific. And for you to just close your eyes and allow the sound of the Icaro to penetrate and go to wherever it's needed. So I thought what I would do is start with an Icaro that that connects to whatever needs to be healed in your body. Okay, in your body or in your emotional body, your energy field, but personally to you. What is it that could use a little bit of help right now? Okay, and just receive it. Okay, because so this is being on the receiving end, but also receiving the song so that it begins to sing you. All right, so it's a little bit difficult to explain, but this is creativity, okay? And when you use your voice for creativity, there's an intention behind it. So it's not like a song that you learn rote by rote and there's specific words. Now those have power too, like certain chants have incredible power. But this is a slightly different method. So this is using the creativity in the moment. And of course, I have no idea who you all are on this webinar. Can't see any of you. I don't know if, there's 5 people or 50. So, but there's a sense, okay? So I'm going to tune in to you as a group, and then I'm going to sing an Icaro, and I want you to just open yourself up to receive it. Now, the best way to receive sound for healing or an Icaro for healing is through your heart, okay? So if you feel like, okay, I need to get out of my head, I'm tired of listening to the words now, you can put your hand on your heart and you can go, okay, I'm going to drop into my heart, open my heart up, and allow the song to go into your heart and then move into whatever part of your body needs a little help. Okay, so here we go. Close your eyes. It's better if you're not looking at me. So just close your eyes and get grounded by putting your grounding cord down wherever you are. And just pull your energy in from wherever you might be worried or you might be thinking about something else that you're going to be doing later today. Just pull all of your energy in so that you're really, really, really present. All right. So this is an Icaro for healing the body. Abre cuerpicita yo, abre cuerpicita yo. Abre, abre, abre yo entre curaciones. Estoy amando espíritu de las plantas medicinas. Entre cada unito, corazón y cuerpito. Recibiendo cada uno, recibiendo curación. Limpiando, limpiando todo, ya limpio. En los cuerpicitis yo Pachamama ayudando. Padre cielo recibiendo las lucitas yo. Abre, abre corazón, abre, abre cuerpita. Entre luz de espíritu y entre curación de voz, entre espíritu de las plantitas de medicinas, medicinas de la selvita de ayudandito. Limpi, limpi, limpio. Curai, curai, curai yo. Cada unito yo, cuerpiciti balanzando, cuerpiciti curando, cuerpiciti limpiando, cuerpiciti protegiendo. Okay, so that was an Icaro for receiving in your body. Now, I know you're going to get a recording this, so, if you haven't been in a place where you could really receive that, then you could certainly listen to it later on when you are in a place to receive it. So now I'm going to turn it over to you, and we're going to collectively do some voice work, okay? Opening up your creativity, So what you're doing then, okay, so let's go back to this destructive creative piece. So the destructive part of it is that you are injecting something into the space. You have this clear space. Maybe you have silence, okay? And what you're doing is you're putting your voice into it. So you are disturbing the equilibrium of the space that was there before. So you are destroying that space because you're putting something creative into it, which is your song. So with also the focus on your body, okay, so we're going to start with the body again, because that's now opened up and it has a song that's in it, working on healing something in your body. But you can also sing to your own body. So your body, we think of our bodies as being like, okay, this is my physical body. And then, oh, when I'm in meditation or if I'm in a ceremony or if I'm doing, drumming work, well, then I enter the spirit world. The spirit world is within you too. It's within your body. Think about all of your organs. They all have spirit behind them. They all have manifested and been created from the spirit world, basically. So just consider that, okay? Don't overthink it. Just consider that. And now what I want you to do is close your eyes and go within, again, starting with your heart. That's always a good starting point. Starting with your heart, acknowledge some part of your body that needs a little bit of help. Okay, maybe this my Icaro has started something. But maybe there's, your knee is hurting, or, a tooth is hurting, or, your digestion needs a little help, or whatever. So begin to simply make some sounds. Send voice, send a vocal sound into that part of your body. And just observe it as a creative way that you are connecting with the spirit world of that organ or that part of your body. So let's just do this all together. I'm not going to be hearing you, obviously, but I will just keep the space, and I'm going to be playing a little bit of a rattle here just um, to keep a rhythm going for you, okay? So here we go. Singing to your body. Be in your heart. Focus on a place that needs a little attention. And feel it as a vibration. And see if you can see the pattern that you're singing, just like the Shipibo. You can see your body as a song. And you can leave the song in there and know that it will continue to influence what's happening in your body. So, something that the Shipibo also talk about is that everything has a song. Every hair follicle, every part of your body, every pine cone, every rock, every body of water, every animal, every insect, everything has a song, okay? And it's the pattern of that manifestation that they see, and that the song is constantly creating it. Okay, so we know that we are constantly creating our reality. So this is an aspect of creating our reality, which is basically creating your life from the spirit world, where you are, um, you are more conscious of that creation. So their creation myth is that the anaconda, that how humans, how the world was created was that the anaconda sang the patterns onto her back. Okay, she sang herself into being, and all the patterns on her back became the world, basically. So that's kind of a simplistic way of looking at it. But so everything is a song, and everything, and of course we know that the human voice is very, very, very unique. There's no human voice, there's no two alike. There's no two alike. So this is going to be interesting with AI, right? Because AI does not have the frequency of the human voice, especially when you're connecting with the spirit world. AI is never going to be able to connect with the spirit world. So your voice has a vibration that then opens up the spirit world to you. Okay, so now we're going to move on to prosperity, which I promised that we would work with prosperity. This is why I have this big old crystal on the table here as part of my little altar, because to me, this is like, wow, look at all those crystals, look at all that possibility, look at all those opportunities that are just waiting to happen. Okay, so think of something that you want to be more prosperous about. Okay, I wanted to start with the body because everybody's got issues with your body. Everybody's like, oh, I've got like sore knee, or, I need more love over here, whatever. So we did the body, and now let's focus on some prosperity. So think about an area of your life that could be more prosperous, that you could use, more money or more fun, or yeah, maybe you do want to put yourself into a more of a creative endeavor, like do some art or music, um, or you want prosperity in terms of time, or you want your relationships to improve, or you want more love in your life. Okay, so think about some prosperity that you would like to bring in. And then what you're going to do is you're going to sing your ask for it. Okay? Could be in any language. It doesn't, I sing in Spanish because that's just, how I was trained. And I find Spanish is a very beautiful, it's a romance language. So it really is very conducive to singing Icaros. And by the way, all the Icaros that come out of my mouth are in the moment. So because this is about creativity, there was nothing pre-planned for this, for my presentation here. It was all just creativity, because creativity in the moment, you are able to just grasp like what the power is and what wants to come through. So think about what you want more prosperity about, and what you're going to do is you're going to sing your ask. So it could be like a sung prayer, like, oh, Great Spirit, I would really love to have more of this in my life. And I'm asking for an ally to come in to support me for that, and have it be spontaneous. Like, don't think about it. Don't, obsess about it. Just whatever comes out, that it's not like you're begging, you're not pleading, but you're presenting it to spirit, you're presenting it to the quantum field, like, this is what I want to bring in, this is what I want to create, and I'm connecting my creative self to the spirit world by asking in such a way, because my voice is unique, and my voice then can bring that to me if it's appropriate. Okay, so here we go. Start singing, and I won't sing, so I won't distract you, but just start to, and I'll play the rattle, but start singing your ask for what you want to be more prosperous about. Okay, obviously you could probably go on, and I would encourage you to do that, to continue this sort of thread of, what is it that you want to bring into your life? Okay, so something I will mention now, just because we are, well, in the field of it, but in a few days we have a solar eclipse and a new moon, and we are in this period of time where it's very powerful to ask, to basically look at that creative destructive coin, and to see what's leaving, or what needs to leave your field before you can create something new, and actively do something, like even with your voice, to move it out of your life, to destroy it, so that you can then bring that new level of prosperity into your life. But use your voice as a method, as your shamanic tool, to connect with the spirit world, to actually make that happen. So this lunar eclipse is and this new moon particularly, is a very good time to anchor, at least in an idea or an insight or inspiration or thought, something new coming into your life. Okay, so again, you can't create something new without creating the space first, without getting rid of something, without destroying the field out of which it's going to come and out of which it's going to manifest. So the last thing I wanted to do today, which is kind of a fun thing, and I had this fantasy, but it's not going to work with let me just say, it's not going to work with the way that this webinar is set up, but I was hoping to get all of you on sound, and for us to do like an Icaro prayer, okay, or just a sound that has the intention behind it of healing, of balance, especially between the masculine and the feminine, and sending it out to the planet. Just a sound that can then be received by anybody who needs that, okay? And your intention behind it can be whatever, but it's for the planet, okay? So it could be, you know, to find more balance within people or nature, or, you know, some compassion and some, you know, some maybe healing energy to those people suffering, whatever. But let's collectively make some sound, okay? And I'm not going to be able to hear it. You're not going to be able to hear each other. But, you know, maybe if we do this again, it'll be, the webinar will be in such a way that we can, you know, do a gallery and we can unmute everybody. So here we go. We've got just a few minutes, and what we're going to do is intentionally put like our healing voice, our shamanic tool of sound, out to the planet like a sound wave that is of a higher vibration, with the intention to move evolution into the appropriate channel and to balance and bring tranquility and healing, especially healing, to those out there that need it. Okay, so I'll start here. So this is something that you can do, daily practice. You can send that healing voice of yours out to the planet. You can send it out to people that you know. You can send it out just as an offering, just as a gift. And in many, like in the Shipibo culture, but also the Washarga culture, you know, there isn't this idea of, well, I have to do a performance, like I'm going to sing so that I get this result, you know, or I'm going to do this prayer so I get this result, or, you know, I'm going to do this action so that I get this result. It's not result oriented. They're just really being creative because they can. And it's like the flowers that bloom because they can. They're not blooming because they're like, well, somebody's going to look at me and see that I'm the perfect rose. I'm better than the rose next door. No, they bloom because they can. They're part of spirit. So we, as human beings, need to adopt that same principle, you know, because we can, because we are creative beings, and we are creative because we can be creative. Okay, so thank you all really for participating, and blessings to all of you for the rest of your day. And please listen to this recording and continue singing. Start singing. Sing, sing, sing. We're not a culture that is very comfortable with that, but we need to start being much more comfortable with singing whatever comes out of our mouths, because it's all healing energy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lena, so much. That was just wonderful. And I look forward to bringing song more into my life too, and singing things like you described. I'm really excited for that. I hope everyone enjoyed the session, and we'll be moving on to the next one pretty soon here. The next presentation with Sally Joyce, Wild Magic Woman, Connection with Creative Spirits, will begin at 11:45 in about 15 minutes. And you can find the Zoom link on the portal and in your email. Thank you again, Lena. What a wonderful session. Appreciate it so much. Have a
Thank you,
wonderful day.
Molly.
Bye, everyone.